I feel really lucky that I had the childhood I did. My mum used to take us out every autumn and go blackberry picking, and she really kind of nurtured my love of nature and really got me into it all. And definitely a very family focused thing as well that I kind of feel like I've inherited from my mum. For quite a while I thought that I couldn't really work out how I could be part of the kind of nature conversation and the conservation movement because I wasn't a scientist or an ecologist or anything like that. And then it kind of came to me over time that I love writing, I love art, and I love being creative. My favourite writer, Edward Thomas. This hillside is dedicated to him. There's a poet stone that was erected in memorial to him. He was a nature and war poet, and it's really wonderful to know that I live in the same place that he did and we walk the same paths. Dark Skies is my third book that I've written, and it was inspired by a year of exploring the landscape after dark to see sort of how we connect with nature at night. Living in the South Downs National Park, it wasn't long ago that it was designated an International Dark Sky Reserve because we have really beautiful dark skies due to lots of the efforts from the South Downs team. And because of this, we have these amazing conditions for stargazing, and it just really inspired me to kind of connect with this other side of the landscape. There's definitely a stigma around darkness and the nighttime as something to be feared and something to be afraid of, which is obviously understandable. But I really believe that actually the landscape after dark is a whole new kind of place to explore, and it can be really exciting, really beautiful, really magical. It's a really special feeling walking around in nature at night. You hear all sorts of things, and that can kind of really spark up a lot of imagination as well. And you know, these sounds, you wouldn't hear them if you just went in as the day ended. You have to be out there, and you're really rewarded if you go out in nature after dark, I find. It's really important that we try and reduce light pollution because wildlife already needs a lot of help from us, and if we can kind of at least make sure that their rhythms are not disturbed in the day, they can feed when they need to, they can, you know, sing to each other when they need to, that sort of thing. It really gives them that fighting chance that they need. I think the really important thing with our relationship with nature is that we need to stop seeing nature as something other than ourselves. We are animals, we are nature, we belong in nature, and the more we disconnect from it, the less happy we'll be, the more stressed we are. There's plenty of research to show that. So I think it's really important that we stop seeing nature as this other thing to look after because it's nice to look after it. It's absolutely vital for our own survival and, you know, for the beautiful world we live in, that we realise we are part of it. I would love it if in the future the South Downs is not just preserved as it is, but it becomes even more biodiverse, even more rich in wildlife, and the landscape becomes even more alive, because I have my daughter now, and you know, she's very precious to me, and I'd love to think that she will grow up in the same place I did, but it's actually enhanced. It's even better than when I saw it, because I think that's the future of conservation, really. It's not just about preserving things as they are, but enriching and making things even better. When you're trying to encourage other people to care and get involved, it's important to remember that we can change things. So for example, red kites, they were almost extinct in the UK. But with conservation efforts, they are now so common that we literally have them flying over our house. That's so amazing, because I look out of my window every day and I see a red kite, and it just gives me so much hope for what we can do if we just give nature a little bit of breathing space. There's no way you can make people care about nature and the environment without telling them a story about it and making them feel certain things. So that's kind of where I feel my role comes in, and it's become just the biggest passion of my life, really.